Hey guys, good morning. You have made it to day 4 in week 3. So excited that you guys are really hanging in with us. And hopefully your business is really starting to change, at least your mindset about your business. So we've been talking about follow-up, and we've been talking about systems, and we've been talking about all these things to help you be able to put something in place to follow up with your customers. So I want to talk to you quickly about following up with recruiting. So many people are so scared to go out there and ask someone to join them. And I'm gonna tell you something. There are people every night going to sleep and praying for their situation to change. So once you change your mindset into the fact that you don't have to get someone on your team, you don't have to build your business, but you get to. You get to go and change lives. You get to bring answers to prayers that people have gone to bed asking for a change. You get to share Scentsy. So I want you to think about that for a minute. Whenever you are saying, okay, I'm in Scentsy, I really haven't grown my team, I've been in it this long, or hey, you know what, I've been in Scentsy and I tried to recruit and it just didn't work for me. I want you to think about that mindset for a minute. And I want you to think about this when I'm talking to you today about recruiting with follow-up. Now, first of all, if you've been in Scentsy for a long time, we're getting ready to go into a new season. We're getting ready to go into a new catalog. So you need to look and see who was on your team that left and follow up with them. And follow up and tell them you'd love to have them come back. It's free to come back and share the new catalog with them and show them what all there is to look forward to. And get them back on your team. Because now that you have a new mindset, now that you know about systems, now that you have heard much about PRV and why it's important to be able to share this, not only just changing lives, but being able to change people's financial situations sometime, maybe you have enough confidence now and enough knowledge to go back and actually train them, because maybe before you didn't. I don't know. But I want to start there with following up with people who have been in Scentsy before, because I believe that we are getting ready to experience some huge, huge growth. We already have, and fall is right around the corner. Okay, following up conversations that you can have. First of all, we talked about sampling. We talked about Happy Mail. We talked about being able to get these things out to your customers, and whenever you're out and about and you're giving it to new people. How do you follow up with that? Simple. Think about it for a second. If someone gave you something new to try and you tried it, wouldn't you expect them to follow up with you? If not, you know what's going to happen? Someone could have given you something, you love it, you're like, oh my gosh, I never heard from them again. Let me go find somebody else to buy it from. Let me go to that festival this weekend and find someone that sells this. So it's really important to follow up with those people. So when you use the systems that Katie talked about, with, 113, Amy, 222, whatever it is that you use, you start to put that in place. So here's how a conversation would go. Hey, Amy, this is Shannon. I was following up to find out, how did you love your Happy Mail that I sent? Well, you know what she's going to say? Either A, she absolutely loved it, or B, she hasn't gotten to it yet, right? Now, July is really important because we are going to go into something called Try It in July, and I'm going to talk to you about that tomorrow. But if they start telling you how much they love the product, say, I was just thinking for a second, have you ever considered doing this? Have you ever considered getting those things that you love so much for a discount? A lot of times when we go into a new catalog, we will send out like maybe the product list. And if you have your customers circle their wish list and send it back to you and tell you what they like, that's a great recruiting follow-up conversation. Hey, I got your text of the things that you like. I was just thinking, this may be for you, it may not be for you, but have you ever considered just joining to get a discount on all those things that you sent me? Because that right there is almost a $200 order of all your wish list that you could get paid on instead of me. That's one way that you can actually have an interactive follow-up conversation with people about recruiting. Maybe whenever you are following up with someone, you check out their Facebook timeline first, and you see that there's a situation going on in their life where they just changed jobs, or they lost their job, or they're staying home, or they just bought a new house, or they just got a new dog, whatever, right? Just say, hey, I noticed that you got a new dog. Hey, I noticed you moved. Hey, I noticed you changed jobs. And you start talking to them, and then you say, I'm just curious, from 1 to 10, how do you love your job? How do you love what you do? How do you love your life? And they'll come back and say something like, a 6. Well, what would make it a 10? Well, if I had more time, if I had more freedom, if I had more money, if I had more friends. I mean, you guys would be so surprised at how many people join for the community, to be able to have friends, to be able to have a place to come and know you're supported and lifted up. Sorry guys, that's my dog, and he barks every single time that a pig or somebody walks by, and I don't want to record this again, so I'm so sorry. Belly, no, get over here. Sorry. So I want you to think about that. Whenever you're following up with someone, you can even say, how do you like the product from 1 to 10? It's a 6. Well, what would make it a 10 if it lasted longer? Well, have you ever tried our pods? Our pods last a lot longer, and you don't have to worry about having to change out the wax. How do you love your new, job? How do you love staying home? How do you love all these things? And they're like, 6, 7. What would make it a 10? If I had some me time, if I just knew more people, if I could just help, contribute to our family's income. You have no idea what people sit around and think about that they wish they could do. That you could just talk to them about it through these conversations. So all the happy mail that you sent and all the samples that you're giving out, you are going to need to turn it into follow-up about recruiting first. Let me tell you why. Because if you don't ask them to join, somebody else will. If they're buying from you and they're loyal to you, don't always think that they always will be. There was a time in my business where I had a girl who did a basket party for me every 6 months. We were about on our 5th party. And all of a sudden I ran this report and I saw her name in the report. And I'm like, wait a second, that cannot be the same girl. And I look and I'm like, it is the same girl. So I call her and I'm like, hey, I'm just curious. Number 1, welcome to Cincy. Number 2, when did you join? Why did you join? Why didn't you join under me? And she's like, you know what? You never asked me. And I never even considered asking her because I kept thinking about the PRV I would get. I kept thinking about the parties I was booking. I never asked her. But somebody else came along and said, why don't you join? You're doing all these parties. Why don't you join? She's like, yeah, sounds good. And she goes under the person who asked her. So when you're doing all these follow-ups and these happy mails, and you say, have you ever considered doing this? Have you ever considered just doing it for your discount? You can do a monthly club, but you can actually get paid on yourself. If they say no, you're not going to die. And you can say, okay, well, I totally hear you. And if it's a great customer, then you can say something like, well, I'm going to keep asking you till you tell me just to stop altogether because I think you'd be a great teammate. And then they may say, don't stop asking me, or they may say, okay, stop asking me. Then if they stop asking you, then you go into just serving them the best that you can. And a lot of times I take my recruiting conversations whenever they say no, or maybe they say maybe. I say, okay, well, have you smelled the new scents at least? No, I haven't. Well, let me go ahead and put you on my list of people to get the new scents to whenever the catalog comes out. Sounds great. And then if you share them with a couple of people, you get free stuff and half off stuff. And then you know what? When she starts getting those orders, when she starts seeing that she's almost at $200, we can talk about earning a kit then. So that's the importance of following up. That's the importance of having these recruiting conversations every time you follow up. Every person you follow up with, I'm going to challenge you today. Whenever you're following up with people, ask them, have you ever considered doing this? Ask them how happy they are in their situation with their job right now. Do they like wearing a mask every day? Do they like the social distancing? Would they love to work out of their home and serve people where they didn't have to worry about all those rules, right? So That's your challenge today. When you do your follow-up today and tomorrow, I want you to ask them, have they ever considered doing this? And I want you to fill the gap of what's missing in their life. Whether it's friendships, whether it's more income, whether it's trips of a lifetime, because we're going to have a really big family trip you can talk to them about, especially if they have kids. And you know everybody's dying to go back out again. And having the potential to earn a trip for your family is incredible, right? You could talk to them about that. Or you could talk to them about, just being their own boss. Every person you follow up with should have that opportunity to make a choice whether this is something that they want to do. So don't make the mistake by not asking them, okay? All right. We'll see you tomorrow when we do our follow-up Friday. Bye.